The US loves to flex its wealth, but just past the highway billboards and stadium lights are towns where power flickers, roads collapse, and tap water might give you a parasite. These aren't edge cases. This is what happens when entire zip codes are left off the progress map. No jobs, no safety net, no headlines. Just silence. And a $13,000 house no one wants. Today, we're going into the forgotten back roads of America, where the poverty looks post-apocalyptic and the real estate comes with a side of heartbreak. This isn't surface level. What they missed, you'll already know. By the end, you'll see things differently and wish you'd known this sooner. One town had hookworm cases in 2023. Another has 38 residents, no stores, and 0 functioning sewers. Think you know the worst towns in America? Let's test that theory. One of these places still gets FEMA letters addressed to current resident. And trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Choosing wrong could cost you thousands, or your sanity. Wait until you hear what's happening in Gloucester, Mississippi, if you've ever heard of it. Let's break it down. Number 5. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Johnstown has survived 3 floods, 1 factory exodus, and a tourism economy built on trauma. And somehow it's still standing. Barely, but standing. Welcome to Johnstown, Pennsylvania, where the American dream got waterlogged in 1889, gentrification missed the memo, and homes now sell for less than a used snowblower. What's really going on in Johnstown? Let's cut through the sentimentality. Yes, the city's survived disasters, but the slowest, cruelest disaster? Neglect. The stats tell the story. Median home price? Around $22,000, with many listings dipping under $15,000. Population loss? From 60,000 plus in the 1950s to just over 18,000 today. Poverty rate? Over 35%, with child poverty around 40%. Unemployment? Frequently higher than national average with limited job growth. Crime rate? Lower than Pine Bluff, but still higher than the national average, particularly property crimes. The steel industry collapse hit Johnstown like a wrecking ball made of pink slips. The city never really recovered. What's left now feels like a museum to loss. Beautiful hills, rusted bridges, an eerie quiet that feels cinematic, but not in a fun way. Let's talk about how Johnstown keeps getting left out of the fix-it list. After the infamous 1889 flood, which killed over 2,000 people, the city became a national symbol for rebuilding. Fast forward a century, and Johnstown's flooding is still an issue. But now, the water comes slower, and so does the help. Federal aid? Piecemeal. State investment? Sporadic. Economic planning? Mostly PowerPoints and press conferences. Johnstown is part of the Appalachian Regional Commission, a government program designed to boost struggling regions. It sounds great, until you realize most of the ARC's funding ends up in politically shinier spots. The kind of towns with Instagrammable main streets and fewer collapsing bridges. Meanwhile, Johnstown gets stuck with Band-Aid grants and pilot programs that rarely scale. What it actually feels like to live there. Living in Johnstown is like dating someone who's still not over their ex. The steel boom. You hear about it constantly. How great it used to be. How everyone used to have jobs. How the downtown used to have stores. Now, it's thrift shops, dollar stores, and empty buildings with real estate signs that look sun-faded enough to be artifacts. Reddit quote from a local: "We don't lock our doors. Not because it's safe, but because nobody wants to steal your 2002 Ford Taurus anyway." You know things are rough when your town's biggest tourist attraction is a museum about how everything got wiped out. Okay, and why is it always gray? Like, who dimmed the sunlight in western Pennsylvania? I'm convinced Johnstown has a deal with the clouds. It's not just overcast, it's existentially overcast. Like, even the sky is thinking, yeah, not today. You want seasonal depression in July? Come through. Picture standing on a bridge at dusk. The air is still, the water's high. You hear the faint echo of a train, but no city noise. The buildings around you? Mostly empty. You feel like you're walking through history, because you kind of are, but history's not paying the bills. San Diego gets sunshine and biotech. Johnstown gets flooding and nostalgia. Guess which one gets infrastructure funding? You just sat through flood metaphors and Rust Belt sarcasm. You earned that like, or at least a pity click. If you ever wake up thinking, maybe I could move to a $12,000 house in rural America, you'll want me here to talk you out of it, or at least roast the foundation.